Welcome to this little session from ISW. My name's Craig KK, and what we're going to do today is do a small demo about some enhancements that can be done to the assignment view and work view Gantt chart bars in graphical assignment. This is also applicable within the other Maximo Scheduler graphical Gantt chart bars as well. But for today, we're going to look at the graphical assignment. So if we look at the work view, what we can see is all these descriptions. So we've got a work order, we've got a task here, task 10. We've got two assignments. Now traditionally, the assignments take on the profile of the for the description, that is, from the work order. This does cause some issues. So if we look at the Gantt chart here, I'll just scroll across a fraction. You can see here the three descriptions. That's okay. I mean, at this point, you can add Gantt chart bars to assist you with moving things around. Now, typically, a lot of people have problem with where things live. So what I've done is I've gone into the columns dialog and I've selected asset description, and I moved it from its location to here, because what we can do is these bars are able to be moved, stretched, etc. However, asset description is not there by default. So done here is on the default settings of the configure Gantt chart view. What we've done here on the configure Gantt chart view properties, default settings, in the work properties, I'll bring up the asset description. Here's the asset description. So I've added a new property. Most times if you wish to show that as a default on your Gantt chart, tick the show in Gantt view table. However, what I want to point out is the object and attribute mapping. So you first of all got to put your head on. What I'm doing in this exercise today is I'm going to enhance the bars, what text you see on the bars. But first of all, I need to configure the property to show the attribute that is not there present. Now in my use case, I want to see the asset description. Now you'll note there's two here. There's a reason for that. So this one here, if you think about it, if I move that Gantt chart over, you'll see that there's the description only appearing against the assignments, not the work orders, or the task work order for that matter. So you'd instinctively think that, okay, asset description, object is asset, bring in the asset description. That is not true. If we look at the one that is working, it's working for the assignment, not the work order, remember this. So if I want the assignment, I have to say I'm looking from the assignment, and then from that assignment I'm using the relationship work order. From that work order I get the relationship asset, and then finally I get the attribute from the asset. So that allows you to use the dot notation to go and retrieve data from other objects. This is fantastic. Let's just do a small enhancement. Let's add a new one here, but this one is work order, and the attribute from the work order, we're quite familiar with this, is simply I'm going to use asset num. I'm not using any hyperlink here, so I don't need applink object or anything like that. So I'm just going to choose apply. Okay. Now your note didn't appear. Let's see what happens when I refresh. So now it's on the work order. You should go, oh, I got the wrong description. I do apologize. That's the asset number. I'm just going to fix that. Now, all I need to do to fix this is that we know the asset number is not really what we wanted. That was a mistake. So what we really need is to access from the work order using the relationships to the asset to get the asset's description. Let's see what happens now. Great, that works much better. Although now I'm getting crowded. So you'll note that the task has not come through, and there is a reason for that. If I go back to the work property, so when we look here, you've got a number of objects which you can relate to. Now, think about this. A task is an activity to be performed. It's not a work order. So we need to access activity. Then from the activity, which is a work order, but through filtering, it is actually an activity, we access the asset, and then finally the asset description. Okay, that's great. Now, when you go over here, it hasn't changed at this point. That's because in the background, there's a system property controlling what's happening. And that's not being set at the moment. So we're going to now look at what is the actual change for the solution. Oh, actually, let's look at the problem again. Let's look at it from the assignment perspective. So on the assignment perspective, if we look at the electrician here, there's currently 4 unassigned jobs. Looking at the task descriptions is no good because it doesn't tell us a thing. If I use the tooltip, I don't get much more information. To get more information on the assignment view, I've got to go Alt-click. That also has a bonus. When I click, I can see who matches the skill sets. This dialog here can be changed and enhanced if need be. But that's a bit of a problem because that requires you to go Alt-click. And then to get out of that, you got to go click again. So 3 clicks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch back to the work list, and we're going to make a I'm going to make a small change and show you the result. Okay, I've made that change, and what we're going to look at is the actual result. So if I go into the work view now, what you can see it's changed is that now we can see the asset number combined with the task description. So now we've got more valuable information. Equally, if I use the hover and get the tooltip out, you can see it says location, the asset, and the task. Much more valuable and rich information. Let's go over to the assignment view. And in the assignment view, what we can see is a lot more rich information without having to click. If we use the hover dialog, the tooltip, we can see the valuable information. Now we've got to a fighting chance of moving and assigning these assignments to the correct people on the correct day for the right asset, etc. Let's just dramatize that just a fraction. So if I zoom out, and sometimes we get this crowded mess and small chunks we can look at because of the timeline, and because I'm lazy, I don't want to zoom in. Using the hover dialog, I've got exactly the information that I require to do this. And if we zoom in, again, I've got that rich information. So one thing as a takeaway is that we can customize the bar and the tooltip, and I haven't done it. If I go Alt click, ultimately the reach over as well. This can assist us in how we manage the assignments. These same techniques are available for the Graphical Scheduler, Graphical Workweek, etc. And they can be done live. There is no downtime for the user. So think about it. Give me a bell if you want to know more information on how this is done.